Welcome to Needles and Sprouts.
Episode 8.
That sounded really hard. Needles and Sprouts. We need to practice saying that together. 1, 2, 3. Needles and Sprouts. Yeah, that's hard.
Episode 8.
I'm Tori.
I'm Whitney.
I don't know why I can never remember that. I'm like, what are we doing now?
Should we just dive right in?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Okay. I have 2 finished objects.
They look awesome.
I have my finished socks. You've seen one of these before. They look a little... I never blocked them. I just put them on these sock blockers. I don't block my socks anymore because I just go straight to wearing them. You don't really need to. But these are... So the yarn is Stranded Dye Works. It is her BFL nylon base. So this is 80% superwash BFL. BFL is blue-faced Leicester. And 20% nylon. And I love the BFL. You can just... I don't know. I'm used to knitting with merino sock yarns. And this is... It's not soft. But you can feel that it's stronger than merino. So I like that a lot. And the contrasting heel is a mini skein from my yarn advent calendar from Sherry Iris Designs. It was a 10-gram mini. By the time I finished both toes and both heels, I had like this much yarn left over from the mini skein. So as I was finishing the last toe, I was like, am I gonna run out of yarn? I was yarn chicken, but I won the game of yarn chicken. Anyway, these are my socks. They're really tall. They're just plain vanilla with a fish lips kiss heel, which is my favorite. And they're too big because I need...
good, because I was thinking, these look so much bigger than my sock. Anyway.
So I guess I can just... I have a sock work in progress that I went down a needle size because I've been knitting all my socks on size 2s. But I've decided to go down a needle size to size 1s. I think that'll help.
Should we just talk about socks right now?
Yeah, let's just talk about socks.
Why don't you get your other socks out and compare?
Well, I mean...
And then we can talk about my sock foibles.
It's just barely started. I actually stayed up late working on this because I was like, I need to have more. This is all I have.
Oh, it's cute.
It's a wee little cuff of a sock. I'm gonna block your face.
Sorry.
It's a self-striping yarn. This is a...
Ooh.
This is Knit Spin Farm. Focus, there we go. This isn't the greatest. I was winding this on my Swift and ball winder, and halfway through the cake of yarn just popped off the ball winder, so I had to hand wind the rest of it. Does that ever happen to anyone else where the skein just pops off the ball winder? I don't know what happened.
All the time. I don't have any idea what you're talking about, actually.
Anyway, so this yarn is 75% Corriedale. That's the breed of the sheep. And then 25% nylon. So I'm really excited. I've never worked with Corriedale, I don't think. So I'm really excited to work with this self-striping. Anyway, but this is on a size 1. So hopefully it looks quite wee already in comparison to my other one.
But it will stretch.
Right? Oh yeah, that's the ribbing. It'll stretch.
So those socks don't fit the green socks, bluish green. They don't fit you at all?
I mean, they're just baggy.
They're just comfy socks.
Yeah, they're just comfy socks.
Maybe you can't put them in shoes.
I can wear them with these, but they just fall down around my ankle and kind of hang out there. And they just kind of bag around the top of my foot. But look what Tori has.
It looks so little compared to Whitney's. And guess what? It is too little.
Is it too little?
So
Is it too short?
It's too short.
Oh no.
So
that toe is not nearly long enough.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I followed the pattern. It was supposed to be a 2-inch toe, but it's only like a 1-inch toe, and I think that's why. Like everything else works. So I was following Susan B. Anderson's toe pattern, which I liked, but I'll have to go revisit it because I don't know.
Yeah, this toe looks really short to me.
I'm missing an inch. My husband thought it looked short too.
I would have kept decreasing to about half the number of stitches, and that would have given you a little bit more.
Well, she said to go to 6 Anyway, the
Till 6.
12 or something.
Oh. Were you knitting a plain round in between every decrease round?
No, was I supposed to?
Yes.
That's what I was also wondering.
Yeah, you're supposed to knit a plain round between every decrease round. And that will double the length.
I'll have to look at the pattern. Maybe I just
But
missed that.
you can pick it out.
But I did that cursed
Kitchener stitch.
Yeah.
Your first ever Kitchener stitch, and you did it.
You can clearly tell that I was figuring it out because the second half, it looks good, and the first half looks lumpy.
It looks, but it's okay.
Are you supposed to turn it inside out? Because like in your sewing, you never have your stitches exposed.
No, because it seams them like this, so you don't have to turn it inside out.
So maybe I did it wrong because it's not seaming it like that.
Mostly all you have to do is, somehow you purled it instead of, see,
I purled it instead of knitting it.
these are knit stitches and those are purl stitches. Let's see if the camera can pick this up.
That's cool. I'm
Let's
extra
see.
talented.
So these are knit stitches. Let's see if it can focus here. It did for a second. Okay. And these are little purl bumps and these are knit stitches. So somehow on the way of Kitchering, she was purling here instead of knitting. So
I was following the tutorial. Though maybe that's when I...
Did you watch the video I sent you?
Yeah.
Texted you?
Maybe that's the part where I started doing it on my own, though, when I somehow reversed it. I'm really good at reversing things. So, well, cool. That was a good learning experience. I was wondering, should I try to take it out, or should I just find someone with a short toe?
It'll be frustrating, but I think you should take it out and redo the toe.
Oh, okay. I also did it between the hours of like 1:30 and 4, so that might have attributed to some of the...
In the afternoon?
No, in the morning.
In the morning. Oh, I was like,
I took it.
Yeah,
it was like I fell asleep too early, and then I was like hyper, and I was like, I'm gonna finish my sock. So, anyway, it looks really good. If I squeeze at my toes, it's fine.
There are a lot of tutorials. If you wanted, you could just pick up stitches across here and then cut your socks off and not even worry about unwinding it.
My husband said to cut it off. I didn't think that was a good idea.
I'll send you a link to Afterthought Heel. Let me show you. I would probably just, the Kitchener might be a little tricky to undo, but if you wanted to just snip across here, you'd be wasting just a little bit of yarn and then pick up whatever end and then unwind from there.
And that won't leave like 64 strands if I cut it?
Well, if you cut it, you'll have live stitches and you rip back to your toe and you'll have all your live loops. So you'll have to catch all your live loops.
Which is so hard.
Which is a little bit tricky, but it's doable.
Okay.
It's doable.
It's
one of those things where it's like, once you're actually doing it, it's not like too terrible. It's not the funnest thing. But when you're done with it, you're like, I'm glad that I took the time to do it.
Because then it will look way better.
Yeah, because then it'll fit better. And you're like, you know what? It was worth that half hour, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
bummer.
But look how good this, I mean, it does look a little bit short.
I like finished it and I was like,
Is it too, did you try it on?
Yeah.
Do you think
I think like an inch.
An inch would do it? Okay.
Because it's like I could wear it and the heel's just like a little under.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Well, that looks so good. First ever Kitchener stitch. Good job. Should I talk about
Your shawl.
my shawl?
Yeah, after we had sock discussion.
So
this is my other work in progress, obviously. The second sock,
which you're not succumbing to second sock syndrome, so that's good.
Well, because I already had it half done. Remember?
That's right.
But I had to get it back on my circles because my double pointed needles had been holding it, but I had to take those off
to be able to do the toe.
Right, but I couldn't just put the circles on, so then luckily I managed to find some, like the stitch holders. We'll have to talk about how to use those because it is not straightforward. You can't just like slip it, because they don't have a point. You can't just knit onto the stitch holder because it was a dull point.
You mean like one of the giant clothespin type?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like
the diaper pin type things.
Yeah.
That's what they look like.
Yeah. I gotta learn how to transfer back and forth.
It's hard to do that in a circle. It doesn't really work super well.
Well, I had two.
Oh, you had 2. Okay.
But it still was. Ugh, it was
yeah,
horrible.
it involves a lot of moving around to get them on and off. Anyway,
Shawl time.
shawl time. So this is the shawl I was working on last time. I don't know. I think I'm technically not supposed to show it, but I don't care because no one watches this anyway. So this is my Lake of Shining Water shawl, designed by Kalora Hudson, While They Play Designs. So it's got these cool cables, and so she had a yarn over. So this part right here in the pattern was all just yarn over, so it was just a series of holes.
Yeah.
I didn't love the look of the yarn over so much, but Ava of the Charm of It podcast, she did a sweater with this little quatrefoil motif in it, and that has been stuck in my head since I saw it. And so I looked that up on her Ravelry project pages, and I put that in instead of the yarn overs. And I think this is much more to my taste. I just like it a lot more. And I did my very first ever Picot bind off. Look at those cute little picots. I'm not generally a fan of picots. That's this.
Why? They're cool.
I don't know. I don't care for the look of them in a lot of things. I think
it makes it look like.
It looks a little crochet-ish to me.
Don't want to look like crochet.
Which sounds so snobby, but I
Snobby,
I don't love the look of crochet, if I'm perfectly honest. And that's why I don't crochet. But something about this shawl, I just liked the way it was done, and I felt like it matched the rest of the shawl really
it doesn't
well.
look like, oh, that's crocheted. It just looks like kind of fancy.
Yeah. So
I think if it was on every single edge, it would look excessive, but I like that it's on
it's just on one edge. Yeah. So you start, I'm
trying to focus it for you.
You start here, and then you knit this way, and then it just gets bigger and bigger. So it's a asymmetrical shawl. I've never knit something quite like this before, and I had to block it fairly aggressively to get it the size. And when you block it, you lose a little bit of the cable pattern, because when they're all squunched up, they look like little circles stacked on each other, which is kind of cool. But when you stretch it out, you kind of lose that. Do you see what I'm saying at all?
Looks like
something.
Still looks cool.
Yeah, that's the little cable pattern. Anyway, so the yarn that I used for this was the Shaky K fibers that I got at Stitches SoCal. It is 85% Polworth, 15% silk, and I love the way it knit up. I love the feel of it. I'm really, really pleased with the yarn. The one thing that was really buggy about the whole thing is I used exactly 2 skeins, and I had about this much left of the bind off.
Uh-oh.
And I had to get into my 3rd skein.
Oh.
So I used like 10, 15, maybe, but probably not 20 yards. Probably 10 yards. Maybe. Because the picots take a little bit more than just a regular bind off. So that was a bit of a bummer to have to bust into my 3rd skein for just a tiny little bit. But anyway, that's my finished shawl. Maybe I'll just put it on.
Yeah,
I don't really know how to wear shawls, so I just do the bandana kerchief technique and kind of do it.
You wear it over your back, like a grandma.
I mean, I do kind of around the house, but not out in public, because I feel like I look like an old lady. And I think other knitters would appreciate it and wouldn't mind, but most people aren't knitters, so this is kind of how I've only worn it twice. But
I noticed it was on your Ravelry page.
it is, because as part of, so I test knit this. Test knitting, she gave us the pattern, and we go through it and we kind of help edit it for her as we go, I guess, and give her feedback on stuff. So as part of that, we have to have an updated Ravelry page. Mm-hmm. So by the time the pattern's released, people can go through and see all the test knitters projects. And I got a lot of feedback on the little quatrefoil eyelet, that's what it's called. And people are like, that's so pretty, I want to do it. And she was like, I wish I had thought of that. And I was like, it is prettier, I think.
Was it just a 1 hole before?
So it was just a line of holes.
Yeah.
Just single
Well, could she
holes.
change the pattern to incorporate that?
I mean, I guess she could, but she's not going to, so.
Oh. That's
there.
That's a high compliment.
It's there in my Ravelry project page is how I did it. If anyone cares when the pattern's released, which it's really pretty. I really enjoy it. So.
And then you have.
And then I have one more work in project. I have one more work in project.
I have a dream project.
Do you talk about your dream
I
project?
started looking at diaper soakers yesterday because my youngest is still in diapers and he's been soaking through his normal diaper covers. And one of the reasons I learned how to knit, I want to learn how to knit so I can do wool diapers, but it was always for some future kid who may or may not join me.
Are you pooping?
But I was like, oh, I can make it one for him right now, except then you have to find a toddler-sized one.
So my next work in progress, I talked about this, I think 2 episodes ago.
It's like December.
Yeah. It is the Granger cardigan designed by Amy Christoffers. And
Just building up the suspense.
I showed a picture of it. I'll probably put a picture of it here. And when I saw the picture of the pattern, I wanted that exact cardigan. Like that, those same colors, the same yarn, everything. Which that never happens for me, wanting exactly what's in the picture. So that's when I special ordered the yarn. And I want to show you this yarn. I showed it 2 episodes ago, but I want to show it again.
Yeah.
And when I got this yarn in person, I was like, this yarn is hideous. Like, my faith was really weak. Look at this yarn. Okay.
It has orange in it. What could go wrong?
I mean, this yarn just looks an absolute mess to me. It just looks like, I'm like, there's no way.
Can I squeeze it?
There's no way that this knits up into that awesome sweater. I was extremely skeptical. And I caked it up, and even in the cake, let me show you my cake. Oh, my cake is little. Even in the cake, it still kind of looks, the colors just look a mess. But then, when I knit it up, something magical happened.
Ooh, I feel like knitting is really magical. So many magical things
Here,
happen.
will you help? Look at this beautiful, like, autumn rainbow. I think it's so cool.
It is cool.
Look at that. How did this horrible yarn turn into this awesome sweater? Isn't that so cool? Anyway, I've really been cranking on this sweater here.
Why is there a hole at the bottom?
Oh, that's gonna be this little hole here, that's my pocket placement. So
Oh, pockets.
yeah, it's gonna have pockets they're just little pockets, but I think
I
they're
was
gonna be
like,
really cute.
legs? Are you making a onesie?
And so this is my Granger cardigan. I think it's after Hermione Granger, which I think this colorway seems so appropriate because it's kind of just has that hand knit.
Granger also means like barn, doesn't it?
Probably
Grange something?
Granger. I don't know, but I think it's supposed to be Hermione because there was another pattern in the series that was another Harry Potter reference, and so. Anyway, I'm loving how this is knitting up. I'm hoping it will fit. It fits.
Is this a cardigan or a...
Yeah, so this is a cardigan, but it's supposed to just lay open. Like it does,
It doesn't close?
yeah, it's not gonna have buttons or anything. So
Is it...
it's okay if it's a little bit
short
open.
sleeved or is it gonna have
It's
sleeves?
gonna be long sleeved, but
Oh, so you used a yarn
so I use yarn to hold the stitches.
and that works okay?
yeah, that works great. As long as your yarn is long, you'll need longer yarn than you think, just
Yeah.
because the stitches will expand a little bit.
Yeah. And then do you knot the yarn to hold it or is it just floating?
No, it's just floating.
Okay. That makes me happier. I'm all about not buying stuff. If I can
Yeah.
use my scrap yarn.
Yeah, just use scrap yarn. You'll want to use yarn that's at least the same size, if not thicker. I'm really, really enjoying this, and it's been really low pressure, which is something that I needed in a sweater pattern. I've said this before, like, not that I put pressure on myself, but something about this one has been so chill that I've just been really, really enjoying
Because it has orange.
working on it. But look at that rainbow, isn't it so pretty?
It's like a rainbow without being like rainbow.
Yeah, it reminds me of
Which
squash.
I actually really like.
Like I look at it and I see squash. Like, you got pumpkins and you got some of the purpley squash and the warty squash and all the funny looking squashes with all the speckles. Let's just do a really close up here. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And the stitch markers are marking my, it's a little bit fitted, so it goes in just a little bit and then out just a little bit. So
I think I look at it
the waist shape
and think maybe squash and eggplant, but there's no purple squash to me.
I guess.
You can see what you want. It's your sweater. I'm just telling you.
It just tells me autumn, and so autumn makes me think of
Eggplants.
squash.
So many eggplants.
And eggplant, yeah. I'm really excited about this. So that's it for my works in progress, but I'm hoping I just applied, I don't know what you call it, for another test knit, another shawl test knit. So hopefully I'll get that. And these are the colors I picked out. You're supposed to hold a sport weight double. Part of applying for the test knit, you have to show the colors that you would knit it in. So I would either...
That's funny. Oh, those are awesome. We're not doing those.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of how it works. I would either hold these two double, which I really like, and I feel like that would be a pretty subtle marl, like nothing too in your face. But the problem is, I feel like it's very close color family to the shawl I just finished. Once you mix the gray and the lavendery purple together, it would mostly equal this. Which I'm not super interested in knitting another shawl in that same color. So I was thinking of doing, hey look, it's that color again.
Yeah, that same cool blue color.
So I'm thinking of doing this one. So I posted both pictures in my application. It's really just a Ravelry thread where you say, hey, I want to knit this. This is what I would do if I was chosen. Maybe I'll insert a picture of the shawl too so you can see. It's going to be really pretty whether I end up test knitting it or not. Oh yeah, and then I got this yarn back in January.
Ooh.
This is more Bijou Basin. It's 50% yak, 50% silk, and I have a shawl in mind for this. I forget the name of it, but it's by Romi Hill. Maybe I'll put a picture here. And I want to get that started because it's going to be for my mother-in-law.
Oh, a present. It's a present for someone special.
It's probably going to be for someone. But even just saying that, if she's watching, she'll know it's her. But I don't know if she even watches. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I want to get that started because if I start now, I might be done by Christmas. Because it's a very intricate...
Wow.
It's a fairly intricate lace shawl. Anyway.
It's like 9 months.
Yeah. So that's
where we're at.
Yeah, you've got socks. I've got who knows what. I've got so many...
There's earthquakes happening.
The babies.
Brrr.
You know it's time to end because Marianne, my baby, is loose and she's just causing chaos. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us.
Good knitting to you.
Peace.